Hey, you guys out there remember Pajama Sam? I sure do. I was all over these games when I was young. Heck, the whole Humongous Entertainment library was a big part of my childhood. Pajama Sam was my favorite of the four. I played them all a lot. Personally, Pajama Sam and Spy Fox were my two favorites, but Pajama Sam was always my number one. Those who know me know that I have a friend named Alfonso. That's not his real name, that's just the codename he goes by to keep his real name a secret. So, he had games 1 and 3 and I had games 2 and 4. We'd constantly swap them around, letting each other borrow them, and it was a lot of fun. Great childhood memories. Unfortunately, growing up means you have to put away some childish things. That is until the wonderful Patreon donor Leaf Razor suggested that I do Pajama Sam. And you know what? He has donated to my Patreon, so I couldn't say no. Besides, even if he wasn't paying me, I would have loved to do something like this. By the way, link to the Patreon in the description below. If you win the Patreon raffle, whatever Media Mementos video you want to have happen, will happen, with some very minor exceptions. So the thing I noticed about Pajama Sam is that it started off really good. However, like all Humongous Entertainment franchises, it was affected by the eventual buyout, resulting in the fourth game that was universally hated by everybody. What happened though? What made Pajama Sam go from great to terrible? And what made Pajama Sam so good for kids in the first place anyways? Well, all these questions and more will be answered in this look back of Pajama Sam. In order to talk about Pajama Sam, we need to talk about the general concept. It's about a blue kid named Sam whose hair is physically attached to his body and is probably part of his skin. He loves this superhero named Pajama Man, friend of the good, foe of evil. He's a little boy with an overactive imagination and sounds a lot like a girl trying to do a little boy's voice. But you know what? It's a charming voice, so I'll ignore it.
This is a job for Pajama Sam. Now where's my Pajama Sam mask? I need that and my flashlight and my lunchbox.
I personally identify a lot with Sam. This is kinda what I was when I was a little boy. Only instead of thinking I was the character I really liked, I just like to pretend to be them. Like, say Sonic or Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, or one of the Bionicles. However, I'd only do that with friends, I wouldn't just do that on my own, that'd be very strange. No shame if you do that, we're getting off topic. Each game focuses on Sam going to a strange, bizarre world based off of a problem that he's having. Like, say, bad weather, or the spooky darkness when his lights get turned off. And he learns a lesson about overcoming those fears about those certain issues or learning more about them. This is demonstrated quite clearly right from the beginning with Pajama Sam, no need to hide when it's dark outside. All Pajama Sam games have rhyming names, by the way. Pajama Sam is gonna go to bed for the first time with his nightlight turned off, and he's scared. So he decides to don his superhero outfit and become Pajama Sam and vanquish the darkness once and for all. However, he goes into his closet and enters the land of darkness, where his lunchbox that he plans to put darkness in, a flashlight that he wants to use to weaken darkness, and his Pajama Sam mask get taken by these wonderful characters.
Customs inspection!
So now it's up to us to help Pajama Sam find his stuff so that he can finally defeat darkness. However, at the end, it's revealed that darkness isn't actually a bad guy. He's some lonely man who wants a friend who will play fun games with him. And you know what? Sam ends up becoming that guy. We don't ever really see Darkness again, but we do see some cameos from him. But it's good to know that he's not a bad guy, and he got what he wanted, a true loyal friend, showing that Pajama Sam is actually a good kid. The game is definitely simple, it's for children like 5 to 8-year-olds, but I had a lot of fun replaying it. It brought back a ton of memories. The puzzles aren't complicated, but for kids, they're pretty decent. One thing I gotta say is the artistry is fantastic. Look at all this stuff. They don't have just a dark forest or just a spooky swamp. They make it all little things you would find in a kid's closet, like baseball gloves or coats or socks. And like Humongous Entertainment fashion, you can click on little things in the background and have them do funny things. You meet a lot of fun side characters and have a good adventure. What's not to love? The next one, Pajama Sam, Thunder and Lightning Aren't So Frightening, is probably the best in the series. It does everything that a good sequel should. What does it do? It takes everything that worked about the first one and expands on it. More impressive artistry. I mean, look at these backgrounds. More colorful characters, more somewhat witty humor for kids, more fun puzzles, more exploring, more of all that. Plus, when it comes to the characters, they have a lot more of a focus in this one. We all remember Otto and the minecart and the carrot from the fridge, but they don't play a super huge part in the story. Well, this time they do. See, Sam is scared by a storm that's going on, and then he ends up going to the land of weather to confront thunder and lightning. By the way, I love how lightning is the loud, bombastic one and thunder is all quiet and calm. I like that little irony there. Anyways, Sam accidentally destroys the weather machine, causing tornadoes, storms, sunshine, and all the places they're not supposed to go. So, it's up to Sam to find all the missing parts to fix the weather machines and, well, save the world, really. And all these parts are characters. The wingnut, the Y-pipe, and many, many more. You see, they're not just characters, they all have their own distinct personalities. None of them are the exact same as each other. This is something that I do appreciate. They're nothing really complex, after all, it is a game for kids. But they didn't have to do this. They didn't have to put all this effort in. And that's what I can describe the Pajama Sam games thus far as being. By all accounts, there was no real reason for them to go as far as they did. But you know what? I'm glad that they did. It shows that everyone behind these games had a real passion for their craft. All the puzzles, all the characters, the art, the quirks, everything about it is fun. Of course, I'm talking about this from a kid's perspective. Me being an adult, I finished the game in 45 minutes? It was nothing, really. The puzzles aren't complicated, the gameplay is pretty straightforward, but for kids, this is actually pretty good. It's teaching them a lot about things like weather or not being afraid of the dark, and it does so in a non-pandering way, and it does it in a very fun way. No wonder these games caught on. The third one, Pajama Sam, You Are What You Eat From Your Head to Your Feet, is good. Not as good as the others, and it's a bit preachier given the fact that it's about Pajama Sam going to the land of food and learning all about healthy eating. A good lesson to be sure, but it does bash you over the head with it quite a bit. Still, the gameplay is fun, the characters once again play a very intricate part of the story, although they're not as distinct as the other ones from the last game. They're still fine, just not quite as good. And that's how I describe the third game. It's still good, but it doesn't quite hold up compared to the others. That's not a bad thing, really, it's still good. But the third installment always seems to have that stigma, doesn't it? As a kid, this one was the one that interested me the least for a little while. I'll get into that later. And after this one, Pajama Sam took a little bit of a break. A lot of things did, it seems, because Humongous Entertainment got bought out, and the new people behind it wanted to take all their franchises in a new direction. This includes stopping Spy Fox altogether, and rebooting Putt Putt and Pajama Sam in 2003 with Putt Putt Pep's Birthday Surprise and Pajama Sam 4 Life is Rough When You Lose Your Stuff. These games were unanimously hated upon release. They changed so much, the effort was little, and everyone freaked out. I, as a little kid, didn't know about Life is Rough When You Lose Your Stuff, and I didn't find out about Pep's Birthday Surprise until Peanut Butter Gamer reviewed it, no joke. When I found it in the store, I told my parents, and you know what? They bought it for me because they knew that I liked Pajama Sam. It was on sale, wonder why, and they were educational. I went home, I played it, and I was confused. I didn't hate the game, I didn't dislike it, I actually found it decently fun, but something felt off. And what was it? I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Everything kind of felt different. And you know what? Going back as an adult, I can finally place my finger on it. They didn't care when they made this game. Unlike the last three where they really put all of their effort into it and gave it a great amount of love and dedication, Life is Rough When You Lose Your Stuff is kind of there. The artistry is not nearly as fun. We're going back to what's basically the Land of Darkness. It looks the same except less creative. Instead of trees that are made of other things or other objects replacing different things you'd find in the woods, instead it's just a tree, just a rock, just a cave, just water. with the occasional swap here and there. The artistry is a lot less, and all the things you can click on are a lot weaker. The voice acting is very different. They replaced the voice actress for Pajama Sam, and while the other one was endearing and charming, this one feels like a bad YouTuber trying to do a really lame impersonation of a beloved cartoon character. It doesn't sound right.
Beware, evildoers and stealers of stuff! Here comes Pajama Sam!
How's about the characters? I can't remember a single one. I remember Darkness very vividly from the first one, I remember all the side characters in Thunder and Lightning from the second one, and my favorite character, the Egg Guy, is definitely the highlight of the third one.
Hello, French fry. I'm not a French fry. I'm Pajama Sam. Oh, so you are. Pity. Do you like French fries? I love French fries, especially with mayonnaise. Mayonnaise. It's very European. Mayonnaise.
But I can't remember a single character in this one. They're all just there for the plot, boring, dry, nothing to them. There's also a game mechanic where you collect cards. This does absolutely nothing. It's pointless, it doesn't add to the story, and it's kind of boring. Also, the lesson in this one is, again, good, but the way they teach it is really, really bad. So it's about cleanliness, wanting to clean your room and stuff. Again, decent lesson, although it is fairly bare bones. But they bash you over the head with this non-stop. If you thought Pajama Sam 3 was bad about doing this, you ain't seen nothing till you played Life is Rough When You Lose Your Stuff. The last 2 minutes of the game is basically Pajama Sam turning directly to the camera, telling you, "Hey, it's cool to clean your room. I used to be messy, but now I'm not, because I know it's good to be clean." Stuff like that over and over. No subtlety, none of that, just pander, 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 pander. And this is definitely the case with what happened with all of Humongous Entertainment at the time. A lot of the crew behind it had in fact been swapped out by the new owners of the company. And the people behind it really didn't see all the passion behind the projects before it. They didn't have the same drive. So they made a game, and that's it. They made a game, and that's all. But Pajama Sam and all of Humongous Entertainment were made by people who got it. They knew they were kids' games, but they knew that just because they were kids' games didn't mean they had to be stupid. They didn't have to be patronizing. They didn't have to be so bland and bare bones. You could really put a lot of time and effort into it. Even though the kids at the time wouldn't appreciate it, they would when they grew up. Putting a lot of effort into kids' material actually does benefit the kids in the long run. If you show them things that challenge them or inspire them, they're going to grow up to be more capable people. Meanwhile, if you give them bare, basic, nothing-to-it entertainment, what are they going to turn out like? I think you can gather that from here. Life is Rough When You Lose Your Stuff really shows what happens when you lose sight of the goal. It's no wonder that shortly after the game's release, Humongous Entertainment ended up shutting down. Though they are kind of around today because they have some sort of a revival company, it's kind of complicated. Humongous Entertainment did meet an unfortunate fate, and that's really sad. Pajama Sam and Putt Putt really didn't deserve to have these bad fates fall upon them, but you know what? That's what happens when greed takes over. But still, Pajama Sam 4 isn't too bad. It's just boring. Which, in all fairness, is something that a Humongous Entertainment game should never, ever be. Still, we can pretend that that one doesn't exist, right? The Pajama Sam trilogy, that has a nice ring to it. It's constantly fun, it's constantly engaging, and I'm very happy that I got to relive these. When I have kids someday, I will have no problem with them playing these. Pajama Sam. Always lots of fun until the battle is won. I know that's lame, but I had to come up with some kind of ending now, didn't I? Well, folks, thank you very much for checking out the video. What is your favorite Pajama Sam game? Did you grow up playing them? What was your favorite Humongous Entertainment franchise? Comment below and let me know because I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hello, French fry.